Ever since he burst onto the PDC scene, Michael van Gerwen has been considered a phenomenon, a true powerhouse of darts. For years, he was the man to beat, the player who dominated tournaments and struck fear into his opponents. But in recent seasons, something has changed. The wins have slowed down, and that aura of invincibility isn't quite what it used to be. So what happened? Is it down to his private life, a shift in mentality, or has there been a technical evolution in his game? In this video, we're going to take a close look at how MVG's throwing style has changed, comparing the unstoppable 2016 version to the Michael van Gerwen we see today. Let's start with the position. Right away, you can tell something's different. MVG now stands much further to the left than he used to, at least a full step over. Back in the day, he was almost perfectly centered at the throw line. But aside from that shift, the fundamentals are still there. His closed stance remains, with the supporting foot planted flat and perfectly horizontal. Classic Van Gerwen. Now let's talk about the stance. At first glance, if it weren't for the color of the shirt, you'd think these are two identical images of Michael van Gerwen. Same forward-leaning shoulders, same low elbow, almost a carbon copy. But look a little closer, and you'll spot a subtle shift. His shoulders now tilt slightly more forward than before, which in turn lowers his elbow and brings his hand just a bit closer to his mouth. It's a small adjustment in a stance that's otherwise nearly identical. Now let's move on to the grip. And here's where we see probably the biggest change Michael van Gerwen has made over the years. Take a look at the dart just before release. In the past, the tip was angled upward. But today, it's pointing clearly downward. Otherwise, his grip has stayed consistent. It's still a classic three-finger grip. Thumb and index finger gripping near the end of the barrel, practically on the stem, while the middle finger adds stability just before the tip. There's no official statement from Van Gerwen about this grip change, but many believe it's linked to the physical issues he faced a few years ago. Issues serious enough to require carpal tunnel surgery. The new, downward-pointing grip should be a deliberate adjustment to reduce strain on the forearm and avoid overloading the area that was previously injured. Let's see the throwing action. The action of Michael van Gerwen has hardly changed at all, movement always fast and fluid. The only slight variation is that in the past he used to finish the pullback a little closer to the face than he does now. The release is always excellent, with the arm stretching perfectly horizontally and the wrist fully bent. Now let's take a look at the throwing rhythm. And here, not much has changed. Michael's pace has remained almost identical over the years. Smooth, fast, and consistent. If you watch closely, his throwing motion from years ago is practically in perfect sync with the way he throws today. So, in the end, we can say the two biggest changes in MVG's throw are his shift further to the left on the throw line and the adjustment in grip. Injuries, particularly the arm issues that led to carpal tunnel surgery, likely played a major role in shaping those changes, especially the grip. And yet, despite not being quite as dominant as in his peak years, Van Gerwen remains one of the absolute top players on the PDC circuit, a testament to just how talented and adaptable he is. If he continues competing for years to come, he may need to make even more adjustments, especially considering how much strain his current stance puts on his back. But hey, that's the evolution of a champion. We'll be watching. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed the breakdown, let me know in the comments which player you'd like me to analyze next.